welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we have a brand new pick a card reading all about a message that is meant to find you right now, a message that you need to hear. So if this popped up on your feed, if you felt called to click on it, or if it just popped up somehow in your life, this is a message that has been meant to find you. And the way that this video works is I use my intuition to connect to guides and spirits of 100% pure white light to bring you information for your highest good using the tarot cards and the oracle cards. And there are 4 different groups in front of me here, and you are going to use your intuition to intuitively choose one of these 4 groups, the one that you are the most called towards. So perhaps you find one that stands out more visually to you. Perhaps you feel a magnetic pull towards one of them just stands out amongst the rest. That is your intuition. And that is the pile that is going to hold all of the relevant information for you, because your intuition knows exactly which group is going to resonate with you. Your intuition knows what message you need to hear right now. So again, you might visually be called to one of the groups, or if you're having a hard time visually tapping in to one of the groups, you can also take your hand and slowly hold it over each of the piles and seeing what you feel as you go over each of them. And maybe one of them is going to bring you a whole different feeling than the rest. Maybe one of them, again, you're going to feel more of a magnetic pull towards. Perhaps one of them is going to give you more of a hot or cold sensation, or just a different sensation than the rest of them. Occasionally, you may be drawn to more than one group, and that's just because there's multiple messages for you in today's video. However, that is a little bit more rare. Most of the time, there's going to be one that stands out amongst the rest. But if there are multiple groups that you're drawn towards, you can go ahead and watch all the groups in which you are intuitively called to watch, because again, those are going to hold all the relevant informations for you at this time. And there's going to be timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box, so that you can easily navigate through this video and skip right ahead to your personal prediction and reading all about that message that is meant to find you right now, the message that you are meant to hear. So that is how this video works. I am so excited that you joined me here today. And if you would like a close-up of the crystals, just to get a deeper feel for the different crystals on the groups, over here on group number 1, we have this beautiful rose quartz crystal. So if you find yourself drawn to group number 1 or to this rose quartz, then that is going to be your message and your reading. Group number 2, we have this beautiful Aqua quartz crystal. So if you find yourself drawn to the Aqua quartz or to group number 2, then that will be your reading. Group number 3, we have our blue Kyanite with mica attached to it. So if you find yourself drawn to the blue Kyanite, then group 3 is going to be your reading. And then group number 4, we have this gorgeous sunset quartz. So if you find yourself drawn to this crystal or to group number 4, then that is going to be your reading. So as always, take as much time as you need, even pause the video if you would like, in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. And then again, there's timestamps linked down below so that you can easily navigate through this video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into today's pick a card reading. All right, my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so starting with your Astro dice, let's see the message that you need to hear. So we have Pluto in Scorpio in the 3rd house. Ooh, I'm randomly just getting a message where Spirit really wants you to know that it is time to be fully authentic, especially using your voice, the things that you need to say, and also when it comes to what's truly on your mind and what you are truly feeling. If you feel that you tend to hide yourself when it comes to your true actual feelings with other people, or your true actual opinions, or if you just feel like there are things that you have suppressed before, or that you felt uncomfortable confronting people about, you felt uncomfortable being fully you or fully honest, etc., etc. This is your biggest thing that is going to liberate you so dramatically, so deeply. In fact, I'm getting a whole message here that as you start really being yourself, you are going to align so much more to your purpose. You're going to align so much more to who you're actually meant to be around, okay? Because Pluto in Scorpio over here, both of these energies together can talk about when we have deep kind of like buried feelings, buried emotions, or we might even feel more shy or secretive around people, or we don't even feel comfortable just being our true selves because maybe we're scared of judgment, maybe we're scared of confrontation, maybe we are scared of upsetting somebody or disappointing them or letting them down or just, disagreeing. And the thing that is going to be so powerful for you, because the thing is Pluto is one of the most powerful planets, and it gives us gifts as we let go of what no longer serves us. So I feel like you've been feeling internally like the mask that you wear is no longer serving you. And I feel like there's an aspect of you that really wants to fully shine and fully come out. And you want to be yourself. And I feel like you're going to find yourself on so much of a deeper level as you let your true self shine. And the thing is we can let our true self shine in ways, we can be authentic in compassionate ways. We can be authentic in loving ways, right? And I just feel as you begin to honor yourself, you are going to reap the rewards of that so deeply. Because rather than being surrounded by people who don't even know the real you, because we have to put on a mask, we have to pretend, we have to sort of dishonor our true inner feelings, these people don't even truly know who we are. Therefore, even if they do accept us and love us, we already internally feel like it's not even that real because we know that we're not actually being ourselves. Therefore, it's like it sort of fosters this feeling of that we're not really connected, that we're not really understood. And, do I ever see your power coming out as you liberate yourself, as you step into your authenticity? And it might cause some transformations in your life regarding the people that you are surrounded by. It might cause some shifts and changes there. We might not resonate with certain people anymore. But that is one of the most beautiful things that could ever happen to you, because it's going to allow you to align to people that do resonate with you. It's going to allow you to find people that are in alignment with you. It's going to make room for that. It's going to make space for that. And I see that coming into your life as you be open and honest. And maybe there's something right now that is weighing on you internally that you know you need to be honest about. Maybe there's something that you know you need to get off your chest with somebody in your life. Maybe multiple people, but maybe there's one specific person that this is, really deep with. But it is best to not hold it within. It is best to be authentic. Sometimes we even get scared of sharing good news too. Sometimes we get scared of being like, hey, I really like you. Right? Sometimes we get scared of that, but Spirit is coming through saying the best thing that you can do for yourself is be open and honest, because that way you'll get down to the truth of a situation and you no longer have to sit in wondering mode. You no longer have to sit in, okay, but what if I did that? Or what if they do like me back? Or, what if this? Or, yeah. We no longer have to wonder. If we just let the truth out, it liberates us to move forward. We're no longer stuck. So yeah, your biggest message today is about opening up your voice. And look it, we also have Scorpio showing up on this card too. It's time to release negativity. So maybe this is negativity within, like these assumptions like, oh, nobody's gonna like me if I'm my true self, right? That might be a negative thing that we're holding on to. Nobody's gonna like me if I be my true self. Well, no, there are people that are going to resonate with you. There might be certain people that don't resonate with you anymore, and that is totally a-okay. I totally just spilt my water too. Maybe that was like a wake-up call. If you are still distracted right now, not paying attention, maybe that was Spirit's way of being like, pay attention. And also water being spilt, water symbolizes our emotions. It is time to let your emotions out rather than bottling them up, right? I just like tipped over my water and it's like in a bottle thing. So anyway, yes, no longer bottling the emotions. It is time to release negativity. It is time to be real. It is time to be honest. Oh, is that ever going to liberate you? Because, oh my gosh, like when we hold on to the negativity in us, it's literally like drinking poison. There's so many sayings that talk about how holding on to negative emotions is like drinking poison. And then be bold and make the first move. You don't have to wait for anyone else to do this first. You know, if you really want things to move forward, if you want your life to move forward, if you want to liberate yourself and step into your authenticity to really be heard, if you want life to go in your direction, like literally, if you want to be the creator of your reality rather than having your reality be the governor of you and waiting to see what gets created, rather, let's step into the creator's seat. Let's take initiative. And maybe you're worried about like, oh, but what if I regret? What if I regret saying that? There's no way that you will ever regret saying the truth because the truth is inevitable. So for example, maybe you want to express to somebody that you really like them, but maybe you're really shy because you're like, what if they don't like me back? Okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? You're never going to regret saying that because, for one, what if they do like you back? Then that's great. Everything goes our way. And then, okay, what if they don't like you back? Well, at least it can now set you free to move on, right? And, you know, focus on something else. Because either way, it's going to be a good thing. Either way, you're not going to regret it, right? And then when it comes to your authenticity, and maybe we might lose friends, maybe we might not connect to other people as more, they might not accept us. Okay, well, that's actually a beautiful, good thing too. And let's talk about why. Because for one, if you know, if you're honest and people don't like you, well, now you know who resonates with you and who doesn't. Then it makes room for you to make connections with people who do really like you, with people who do really resonate with you. You're not going to ruin your life by being authentic. And of course, there are certain things where, yes, it's important to be balanced, right? Like we don't need to be brutally honest. And honesty is always good. Honesty is always good. But there's a difference between being a brutally honest person versus a compassionately, lovingly honest person. There's a difference between those two. And you can step into full authenticity from a loving, compassionate place, right? From an aware, conscious place. Because there's also people that are very unaware and very unconscious about their honesty. That's not good either. It's good to be consciously, lovingly, authentic and real and honest. Okay, there's a total difference between those both. And I just wanted to make that clear. But yes, be bold and make the first move. There's nothing that you are going to regret through being lovingly honest and through being authentic. There's nothing that you are going to regret from that, okay? So let's go ahead and get some more cards on this pile for you. And let's see what else Spirit has to say for the message that is meant to find you right now. And yeah, let's see. What else does Spirit have to say? I also want to say with Scorpio, because it has the stinger, right? And it's known for its stinging quality, and maybe there's emotions that have been stinging you. So rather than holding emotions in that sting you, that have been hurting you, it's time to release and let that out. Or if we're afraid of our truth because we're afraid that it's going to sting us by being truthful, realize that we're just avoiding the inevitable, because eventually the truth just has to come out at some point in time. Otherwise, we're just being held back. We're being stuck. We're wearing a false mask. We're playing pretend in the world. And that never leads us to our happiness. It never leads us to a good outcome. So we have King of Cups showing up. King of Cups is when we honor our emotions, and King of Cups also knows how to be compassionate, just like we were talking about. And also, he is very emotionally cleansed and balanced. So I think there's also a message here about cleansing and emotionally balancing yourself, really loving yourself, finding yourself. I also feel like this, with Queen of Wands being reversed too, there's a message here about finding who you really are, because the longer that we run from our authenticity or hide our authenticity or have to kind of like play pretend or anything like that because we are scared of being ourselves, we lose ourselves in the process. And I really also feel like there's a message here from Spirit saying that you're actually going to discover, rediscover, uncover the truth of who you are as you be authentic, because you're going to be able to navigate all the different, avenues of your being, rather than feeling like you need to constantly wear a mask. Whenever we're constantly wearing a mask or we're suppressing our honesty, it kind of, again, like makes us lose who we are. Even in our own awareness, we start to lose who we are. And so I really also feel like there's a message here about finding who you are and stepping more into like the inspiration of who you are. Queen of Wands, step into being the person who you are most inspired by. Who is the person that inspires you most? Who are the type of people that you look up to? And rather than being somebody who, is suppressing themselves, how can you step up to being the person, like, who do you admire? Who do you admire in the world? What are the types of personalities that you admire? And how can you begin to embody that? Because I feel like that's going to bring you into such alignment as well, is by embodying the qualities that you're most inspired by. Because also, one truth that I'm going to give you is the qualities that inspire you most are actually the qualities that are within you. That's why you resonate with those qualities. That's why you're drawn to them, because it's an aspect of you that is waiting to be uncovered more. It's waiting to be realized. That's why you resonate with it. That's why you enjoy it in other people, is because it literally exists within you. And then the qualities that you're drawn away from, the qualities that you do not like, are the qualities that you don't resonate with. So for example, if you were surrounded by somebody who was never honest with you or felt uncomfortable being honest, would you really feel like you could trust them? Would you want that person in your life? Well, probably not, right? You'd want somebody who is authentic, who is real, because that allows you to have a true connection. So ask yourself, who do you want to be surrounded by? Who inspires you most? And how can you step into that and embody that and be that person? Because then you're going to become magnetic. Then you're going to get into alignment with who you truly are, who you're truly meant to be. There's some deep conversations that I feel like you need to have. And I feel like Pluto being in Scorpio in the 3rd house, this is getting to the nitty-gritty. And it's going to set you free. It's going to allow you to, again, step into who you truly are. Oh man. I honestly feel like over the next 3 months, there's going to be massive transformations for you as you begin opening up authentically. But the next 3 years, you are going to change on such a personal, deep level, to where you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, I'm unrecognizable. Like, I'm a completely different me. And it's because you're going to feel more you than you've ever been. And your life is going to transform. And I feel like you feel that. And there might be something a little scary about that because it's like, ooh, I know my life is going to transform if I start being me. But at the end of the day, isn't that like the most beautiful thing ever? Isn't that what we want? And then we also have Knight of Wands being reversed. So there could be things that we fear. We might fear confrontation. We might fear, disagreements. I feel like you might fear disagreements. You might feel that it would be scary to have confrontation or disagreements with people. But, okay, again, what spectrum would you rather be on? Who would you rather have in your life? Somebody who's willing to be themselves so that you really know who they are? Somebody who's just telling you what you want to hear? And also, would you rather be yourself and be liberated to be yourself? Or would you rather, this card's perfect, would you rather be the Two of Swords where you feel like you have to hide and cover and always wear a mask? How do you want the rest of your life to go? So this message is getting deep here, but this is what's coming up. This is what your guides and spirits wanted you to know right now, is like, what path do you want to go on? What path do you want to choose here? What's going to allow you to live your greatest life, okay? We're also going to take some archetype cards here, or at least one archetype card to represent more about your archetype. We have the Knight coming up. This one's been coming up a lot in readings lately, but your Knight archetype. The light attributes is loyalty, romance, and chivalry, and a love of honor. The negative attribute of the Knight archetype is allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, or romantic delusions. So for some of you, if you're not willing to be honest with people, like saying, like, hey, I like you, or making that first move, being bold to make that first move, maybe we're stuck in romantic delusions. Maybe we're like, oh, I'd rather be here because, maybe in my imagination we like each other and I don't want to know the truth of it. But the thing is, do we want to stay there? Or do we want to know the truth so that we can move on? Also, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, in yourself, who are you being an allegiance to? Are you being an allegiance to the mask, the falsities, having an allegiance to, I'll just be whoever people want me to be? Or should we step into the light attributes? So the light attributes of the Knight is the one who is not afraid of battle, right? They're literally not afraid of battle. They're not afraid of confrontation. They're the Knight. So this is about stepping into being your own knight in shining armor, to be your own rescuer. And if you think about the Knight too, he's the one that is bold and makes the first move romantically. He's also the one that's like, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be honorable. And within that honorableness, they're authentic, right? They show, who they truly are. And they don't just tell people what they want to hear. So that Knight archetype, I feel like, is coming up so powerfully for you about that transformation that is going to literally transform your life on one of the deepest levels, okay? So let's see what else we get here for you. I feel like taking out some of these cards. So let's see. My group ones, what else do you need to know right now? Woo. Okay, we have questioning your beliefs. This one is huge. What do you believe to be true about reality? What do you believe to be true about yourself? Maybe it's time to question that, because maybe we've had different beliefs about who we are that have kept us stuck. Maybe we believed like, oh, I'm not good enough, therefore I can't be myself, or I'm going to get judged, therefore I can't be myself, or I'm going to lose all my friends, therefore I can't be myself, or I'm going to chase everyone away and people won't like me because I'm unlovable. We could have a myriad of different beliefs that are causing us to not want to be authentic, that are causing us to want to repress our authenticity. But at the end of the day, if you begin to question some of those beliefs, you'll realize that those are just silly. Those are just a story you are telling yourself. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You are lovable. King of Cups, I can already see in your energy that you have so much to give. You are already so intuitive and in tune, which probably is one of the deepest reasons why you have a hard time being authentic, because you feel people's emotions. So, for example, if you end up hurting somebody's feelings, you can feel that. It's like a palpable energy. You're empathetic to that. You are intuitively picking up on that. But at the end of the day, it's also so important, because would you rather somebody be, again, authentic, that is your friend, or would you rather somebody just tell you again what you want to hear, but in the end of the day, their deepest thoughts are like, again, you'd want somebody to be authentic. You'd want somebody to be real. So questioning your beliefs is going to be one of the biggest liberating things that helps you see the truth of the matter. Stepping into that most inspiring version of yourself. Who are the people you're most inspired by? Are you inspired by the people who unapologetically are just themselves? The people who aren't afraid of people disagreeing with them? The people who are just so confident in themselves? Because Queen of Wands, she is confident. She's sociable, but she's also honest. And she's okay with having disagreements, but she knows how to lead with that because she has that confidence. And she's also just in her own inspiration. She loves herself. I feel like as you step into that, I feel like you probably already resonate with people like that. Like you enjoy that. Maybe you look up to that. Maybe you admire it in some way. And that's because it's an aspect of you that's waiting to be realized. It's an aspect of you that's waiting to grow and be heard and come out. So I said come out and that card just flew out. We also have spring. This is going to allow you to bloom. Whenever I think about spring, I think about blooming. And I also think about, whatever you water is what grows. And as you water the aspects of yourself of really loving yourself, that is going to bloom and grow. And I feel like self-love is something that sets you free. And as you really start to love yourself, it's going to set you free. Because then it feels more comfortable being authentic, because at the end of the day, even if somebody doesn't like you, you still love yourself. Therefore, it doesn't bother you. The only times that we're bothered by other people's opinions of us is when we are giving more value to their opinion of us rather than our own opinion of us. Truly, if you love yourself on such a deep level and you're really satisfied with who you are and you enjoy who you are, then you're not even fazed when somebody doesn't like you, because you have already stepped into a version of yourself that you are already in love with. You've already become a version of yourself that you're already in love with. But it hurts when people don't like us, when we maybe aren't being the person that we really like. We're not even honoring who we are. And it really hurts when people don't like us, when we are trying so hard and wearing a mask, doing things to get people to like us, and then they still don't like us. That is what hurts the most, because we're like, I'm actually trying to get you to like me. And if you still don't like me, that cuts deep, right? That's the worst thing. But if you are not trying to get people to like you at all, and you're like, I just like myself and I'm just going to be myself. And if you like me, then cool, let's connect. And if you don't, then, I guess we don't connect. Then it doesn't faze you. It doesn't hurt you, because again, you're not trying to get people to like you. You're just being you, and you love yourself for who you are. Therefore, it's not going to hurt when other people don't like you or when other people disagree with you. So there's a light bulb. Let's go ahead and see what else we get. I feel like these two, that card really wants to come out. And I also feel like that card wants to come out. Let's see. Share wisdom. I feel like this is sharing your authenticity. And I also feel like as you share that authenticity, look at you connecting with like-minded people. As you share who you really are, as you share your real interests, all that, you're going to connect with really like-minded people. And then we also have strength. This is going to allow you to become so much more in your power, so much more in your power, to where, oh, the blocks that you used to have are just going to be literally defeated. They're going to be broken down. And, oh, you're just going to like step into such an inner power. I love this. I absolutely love this. Such an inner power that is just waiting to be awakened. So, with that being said, we're going to get into our last oracle deck here and see any last messages for you about what it is that you have really needed to hear right now. I also feel like as you're authentic, like people can feel authenticity. They can feel it. And I also feel like you're gonna gain such deeper connections in your life and really align to who you're meant to be aligned with, right? Because again, when we're honest, that liberates us and allows us to make real connections and real alignments rather than fake ones where we constantly have to, you know, keep up with the Joneses or keep up with the mask. And yeah, I mean, as you just step into your authenticity, it's like you're going to gain more insights, you're going to gain more wisdom, because even when people disagree with you, that's where you get real conversation. That's where you get real wisdom, is like, you know, having a moment of questioning things, having a moment of like, oh, you think that? Oh, well, I think this, or let's dive into that topic more. Like, it fosters real wisdom to be shared. It fosters real connection to be had. And yeah, you just make the real alignments that way. So let's see your last oracle cards here about what Spirit wants you to know. Close the chapter. This is time to close the old chapter. I feel like you've been feeling that too. You've been feeling this already. Like, yeah. Let's see. We'll also have, I'm always in the right place at the right time. Trust that you can never get out of alignment. You're always in the right place at the right time, even right now, as you're making these realizations. And honestly, you've probably made some of these realizations already. Like, I feel like you're smart enough to do that. Like, you're intuitive. You've already felt into this. Like, okay, but you're always in the right place at the right time. Even right now. Trust where you are and where you're going. Okay, and then we have, if you fall, will it all fall apart? No. Oh my goodness. If you fall, then you just get back up again. Try something new. It's okay to make mistakes. Oh, I really feel like Spirit wants to say to you right now, it is okay to make mistakes. Okay? So you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out before you begin, before you close the old chapter and step into the new one. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to have read the entire next chapter before you feel comfortable closing the previous chapter and moving on into the new one. No, you take it one page at a time, one word at a time, just like you being authentic. You take it one word at a time, one page at a time, one step at a time. And if you make a mistake, if you look back and you're like, oh my God, I could have handled that better. That's okay. That's all part of the learning. That's part of the growth. It's okay to make a mistake. If you fall, will it all fall apart? No. Okay. Going on to our next cards. I'm also going to restart my camera because it's about to cut out. So hold on a second. Okay. Our last two cards, we have things are always changing, shifting, and evolving. What is true today may not be true tomorrow. So it's also okay to change. If you feel like, oh, well, I can't be authentic because people already see me in a certain way. Well, people change. Everything changes. Nature changes. Everything changes. So here's your permission from the universe saying, things are always changing, shifting, and evolving. What is true today may not be true tomorrow. So it doesn't matter what people's current perceptions of you are. You can choose to change right now and be different right now. And that is totally okay. And it is okay to disrupt things, right? Like, you have permission to be you. You have permission to step into your authenticity at any time. Okay? The sooner the better. But yeah, our last card here says, what did you learn from this connection? So even with the connections that are in your life, what have they taught you? What have they shown you? Because every connection that you've had, like, it's important not to regret your connections, and it's important to also see the value that you've gotten from them. So what did you learn from this connection? What did you learn from this moment, right? So that is your reading, all about the message that is meant to find you right now, the message that you are meant to hear. It's all about stepping into your authenticity, uncovering, really blossoming, because you can think about the planet Pluto as the caterpillar who goes into a cocoon and becomes a butterfly, okay? So you were a caterpillar before. You're going through a transformation of uncovering the real you, of blooming, springing to life, literally blooming, blossoming. You were like a seed before, right? And now it's time to bloom into who you really are. And nobody can tell you not to. And even if people judge you for it and they're like, oh my God, you've changed. What happened? Well, okay, this is the new me. Learn to deal with it. This is the new me. Like, you know, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe people to, like, you know, stay stagnant. You are you. It is time to blossom. It is time to be you. It is time to liberate. And as you do so, like, you're literally going to step into your power. You're going to be your own knight in shining armor. You're going to be the person you're most inspired by, okay? Which is the most powerful person to step into. Your highest being. And oh my goodness, life is going to transform in the best possible freaking ways. Like, imagine, ask yourself, what is life going to be like if you stay exactly like this for the next 5 years? What's life going to be like? And then ask yourself, oh, if I step into my authenticity and I start living life for me and I start being authentic, being confident in myself, start loving myself, regardless of what changes that transpires, because by the way, that would actually transpire really good changes in the long run, if you think about it. Okay, what would your life look like 5 years from now if you decided to be the real you, if you decided to honor your real path, your authenticity, and all of that? What changes would that bring for you? If you make yourself the priority, your truth the priority. So yeah, that is today's video. Thank you so much for joining me here for it. I'm sending you all so much love, and I hope this message resonated with you. I hope it brought some insight in some way, shape, or form. And until next time, bye. All right, my group number 2 is, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about that message that you're meant to hear right now. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so starting off with the Astro Dice. Let's see what we have for you. So we have Mercury in Libra in the 10th house. Ooh, okay. So the 10th house is our goals and our aspirations. Mercury is all about planning, thinking, you know, doing the small things as well, taking small action. Libra is the sign that brings balance. It likes balance, but it also likes fun, and it likes being itself, and you know, kind of being more out there too. It's also flirtatious and in love. So the message that I'm getting for you about what you need to hear right now is to first, when it comes to your goals and aspirations, what are you striving towards? Do you love what you're currently striving towards in life? Are you clear about what it is that you want to strive towards in life and what's going to bring you the most happiness, the most balance, the most fun type of life? Libra is a zodiac sign that likes to have fun, and it's also the zodiac sign very connected to love. It's ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, beauty, and money. So if you want to create a prosperous life, right, the beauty aspect, if you want to create a life that you love, and if you want to create a beautiful life, that's the Libra energy, one of balance. Mercury is asking you to bring clarity to what you're striving towards, what you're building right now in your life. Are you building a life that you are going to love? Are you building a life that's going to bring you prosperity? Are you building a life that you are going to find beautiful? Okay, Mercury is asking us to bring clarity to that. Or if you have already created a clear vision, then Mercury is about starting to map out what are the actions I can start to take right now that are going to help me build that. And how can I do this in a balanced way? How can I do this in a way that is actually in alignment with creating a beautiful life that I love, that is prosperous? What are the actions that are in alignment with that? Because sometimes when it comes to striving towards our goals, sometimes we think like, oh, it's going to take a lot of hard work. Sometimes we think like, oh, I need to, put in blood, sweat, and tears. But then at the end of the day, what kind of life are you building? Are you actually going towards a life that is beautiful, prosperous, and that one that you're in love with? Well, probably not, because building a life that you love like that isn't going to require like breaking your back, because that's obviously not a life that we are going to love. Right? Like that's like out of alignment right there. So when it comes to taking action towards your dreams and knowing what action to take, ask yourself, how do you want to feel in the life that you're building? And how can you take action in a way that is actually, building from that place? So when it comes to those goals and aspirations, get clear on what they are. And then ask yourself, okay, how can I take action towards it that is actually fostering the energy that I'm wanting to create? How can I take action from a place of like, oh my God, I love what I'm doing? Because then that's going to build a life that you love living. And then also ask yourself, how can I take action in a way that is bringing in prosperity rather than making me feel lack, rather than making me feel poor, y'all put that in quotations, but like, you know what I mean? Like, how can I take action that's going to make me feel abundant, prosperous? Because there's different ways we can take action. When we ask ourselves these types of questions, we start to see life in a different way. We start to get different answers. Because your beliefs create reality. And if you think that you need to work hard in order to create your dreams, you're going to end up creating a life where you're working hard for your dreams. But if you instead reframe that and you say, okay, wait, no, maybe I don't need to work hard for my dreams, because my dreams don't involve breaking myself. My dreams involve me loving what I'm doing. My dreams involve me taking action in a way that feels inspiring, in a way that feels loving, in a way that feels good, in a way that makes me feel like, oh shit, I love life. Life is freaking good. You can build a life you love from that place. And let me tell you, this is a realization I've had in my life when I was building my YouTube career, because when I first started it, I was building it from a place of like, I need to work super, super hard, and I need to grind at this, and I need to make videos that maybe I don't even really like, but maybe they're like really popular, et cetera, et cetera. And this was me like way back so many years ago. This was like back in 2014, and I was making videos that I didn't quite resonate with at the time. Like I still liked them, but they weren't speaking to my soul, right? Like I was creating videos where it was like makeup and like other trending kind of topics, but it didn't really speak to my soul. And although I like those things, it wasn't, again, my soul. And I was pushing really hard, pushing really, really hard. And then there was no results. And then it felt like this struggle. It felt like this resistance. However, get this. When I started reframing this and I was like, you know what, let me take action on things that I love, so that way I'm actually building things that I love. So I did spirituality, which I was really scared to do because, it's like it can be controversial for some people. However, it's my biggest passion. So I was like, you know what, let me live me. I've been doing tarot since I was like 12 years old, and it's my biggest passion. So I stepped outside of my comfort zone. I was like, I'm actually going to do it, even though people might judge me for it, whatever. I started doing it. I loved it. It was my biggest passion. I stopped putting pressure on myself, and I said, instead, let me do this because it's going to invigorate me. Let me put my love into it. Let me put my inspiration to it. Let me not work because I have to do it. Let me do it because I so deeply freaking want to do it, And oh my gosh, when I started doing it from that place, like that energy was palpable. I started building a life that I love, and I opened up a jewelry store because I loved crystals, and I loved making bracelets and doing that. And that just felt so fun to me. And that made me literally build a life that I love. So when it comes to you, create a vision, start asking yourself, okay, what do I love in life? What brings me a feeling of love? What are the things that I enjoy doing? What is a vision that I would love to strive towards? What's a vision that's going to give me a loving life, a prosperous life, and a beautiful life. Because that is going to be your, anyway, we're still on the astro dice. I've literally been talking for like 7 or 8 minutes now, and we're still on the astro dice. We haven't even gotten into the oracle or the tarot or anything, but hopefully this has been some good stuff so far. So the next card that we have coming out for you is Trust the Niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So this is kind of like when we have that inner like feeling, the inner inside, like I just have this little calling or this little like tickle of information. Trust that, because that is your soul speaking to you. Maybe you have this inner calling to maybe take action towards something big in your life, to maybe pursue something pretty big, because the 10th house usually deals with big visions, big goals. And you might have this inner calling that says like, oh, I'd really love to do that. I'd really love to pursue that. Mercury in the 10th house. Start mapping out what you need to do and start taking the small action. Because the way to your dreams is not by just, going from A all the way to B. You might be wondering like, how do I get there? How do I actually build that? It's through asking yourself, what is one action I could take today to start building that dream? What is one thing I could do right now? Ask yourself that every day, or at least every other day, and take some form of action towards it. Trust that inner feeling, because that is your soul calling to you for what your soul came here to experience, So as we're born on this planet, as we're born in this world, your soul came here specifically to experience certain things. That's why you have callings. That's why you have an intuition. That's why you have interests. That's why you're different than other people, is because your soul came here with its own specific blueprint that it wanted to fulfill. Trust that inner calling. Trust that inner guidance, that inner feeling, that inner pull. It might even be subtle, right? What has it been trying to tell you? Has it been trying to tell you that maybe we were out of alignment? Maybe we were pursuing things that weren't quite what we wanted, or maybe we were taking action in a way and trying to build it from a place that wasn't quite in alignment? Because as you shift that, as you switch that, so much is going to shift in your life. And you literally came here to fulfill those certain callings. Just like I was saying, like your soul came here to experience certain things. Therefore, you are capable of fulfilling it. Let me tell you that secret. Because a lot of the times we don't follow our inner callings because we might be thinking like, well, who am I to do that? Or that's not even possible for me. We might be looking at where we currently are, and then we see where we want to go and we think that's way too far away. How is that even going to be possible? But the thing is your soul knew exactly who you were being born into, who you were going to be. Your soul knew all of that. And your soul still came here with these callings because your soul knew, oh, I can fulfill it from that place. I can achieve it. And your soul came here for that journey to go from who you are right now to fulfilling your desires. Your soul came here to experience that. Therefore, your soul knew, okay, I'm capable of it. That's why you have the intuition. That's why you have these callings, because that's coming from your inner self, your soul. So let's see. And sometimes those things shift over time. Sometimes they evolve. And that's part of your soul's evolvement on this planet, right? So we also have the card of leap. It is time to take action. You go first. The universe will catch you. Trust that the universe is on your side and that the universe intends to help you. The universe will catch you. So it's time to take that leap forward and trust that the universe is here to help guide you. Okay, so you go first, the universe will catch you. And then let's dive into our tarot cards here and let's see what else we get for you and your messages. We have 5 of Cups and 10 of Wands. Okay, so 5 of Cups is when we've had disappointments in our past. We might have had failures in our past, and maybe we are scared of moving forward because we don't want to fail. We don't want to be disappointed. So sometimes we stay stuck, or sometimes we even feel, Five of Cups is sometimes we even feel like, oh, I should just stay where I am and just be satisfied with what I already have. Which at the end of the day is an important thing. It is so important to be grateful for what you already have. That's actually a magnetic energy that helps you manifest. So yes, that is a good thing. But sometimes we also think like, this is the best it's ever going to get. I should just, settle here. Five of Cups is very much that type of energy. So maybe you've been telling yourself a story like that. Maybe you've just been like, okay, well, life is never perfect. Let me just be happy with where I'm at. If you're not happy where you're at, it is your soul calling you. Trust that inner calling. Take that leap to something new. I feel like Spirit is really calling you to break away from what no longer resonates with you, and you've been feeling that. Because Ten of Wands here as well tells me that there has been some sort of like resistance or struggle that you've been dealing with. Maybe this is the struggle of like, I have a lot of responsibilities, or, even just taking action on things that you don't like ends up feeling heavy. So for example, if we're going to a job that we don't like, that ends up becoming really difficult and really hard over time. Versus if we left that, we took that leap of faith to go for something that we really wanted, imagine waking up in the morning. It's going to feel a lot less heavy. Waking up in the morning to pursue something that you love, or to work in a field that you love. That's going to feel a lot less resistant. That's going to feel a lot less heavy. That's going to feel a lot better, right? All of a sudden we can get up and we feel invigorated. We feel excited, rather than feeling like, oh, here's another day. How do you want to live your life? How do you want to build your life? Okay. That also is a message of that hard work that I was talking about, when we're like, oh, it's going to be super hard work to build the life that I love. No. You're not building a life that you love if you're doing that. Like, yes. Okay. Here's the truth. It does take work and effort and action to pursue your dreams. Yes. But when we're pursuing our dreams from a place of like, oh, this is going to be heavy, and oh, this is going to be really hard, and like all that energy, are you actually building the life that you are intending to build? No, you're now building a life of struggle. Okay. The key is asking yourself, what is the action that is going to pump me up, that is going to inspire me? And it's not saying that every day has to be perfect. It doesn't. Not every day in my life is perfect. And I have built a life that I really freaking love. But at the end of the day, yes, I do still have days of struggle and things like that. That's natural, part of the human experience. But I like to remind myself, okay, if I'm building the life that I love, that's prosperous, that is beautiful, how can I shift the way that I'm taking action to start putting my eggs in that basket now instead? Because there's different ways in which we can take action. There's different ways in which we can build our dreams. One of them, we're not actually building our dreams. So, again, important questions to ask yourself, important things to remember. Let's go ahead and dive into some more cards. In fact, I want to put more tarot cards on this before we get into oracle cards. We need more tarot cards here. Let's see. My group twos, what else do we have for you? We also have Six of Wands being reversed. So, there's a lot of messages here. Areas where you have felt in your life not satisfied, or even like not quite yourself. Maybe there was things where you're like, oh, I'm not like, this is not a life I want to celebrate. What kind of life would you want to celebrate? What would make you feel like, oh my God, I'm on my high horse. This is amazing. Look what I've accomplished. It is important to celebrate milestones that you create. And also there might be a fear, because when the Six of Wands comes up reversed, it could be indicating that we have a fear of failure. We might have a fear of what other people might think if we go for something and then it doesn't work out. But the thing is in building anything, in pursuing anything, even when we're building it from that place of love, there can be obstacles that come up. There can be challenges that come up, but it depends how we navigate those obstacles and challenges, because those obstacles and challenges could easily become a failure, right? If we allow them and if we, give up, if we allow those things to give up. I've had moments of seeing like failure in my life where, I would pursue something or do something and then maybe it would backfire. But did I let that stop me from continuing my journey? No. Therefore, it wasn't a failure. It ended up just being an obstacle. It ended up being a learning lesson. And the thing is I've learned more from those failures than I've learned from anything else. And they've allowed me to become successful. The difference between successful people versus people who fail is successful people look at every obstacle and challenge as an opportunity to grow and learn and rise higher. So you're not going to fail. Failure is literally an option or it's not an option. And if it's an option for you, then you might end up actually creating it. But if it's not an option for you, then it's every single failure that you have is going to end up just being an obstacle or challenge that you can choose to overcome, you can choose to learn from, and you can choose to, again, overcome. So you won't fail. That's the thing. If you choose to not fail, like truly, if you choose like, I'm just not going to fail, I'm going to overcome anything that comes my way. If you choose that, then there is no failure that you need to fear. Because you could just choose, I'm going to overcome literally anything that comes my way. I will navigate it and I will overcome it and I will continue on and I will continue to grow and I will continue to go higher. That's literally the key to your success. That is how you can become successful in anything. I did YouTube for 5 years. 5 years, every week making a video. For 5 years, did not see any payoff. Imagine pursuing something for 5 whole years, doing it weekly. And, and yes, I was putting out a video every week, but it took longer than just one day a week to actually make all of that, right? It was like a everyday process, putting energy into it. For 5 years, literally didn't make a single penny, but I continued on. Many people would have seen that as a failure after like a few months or after a year, after a couple years, after 3, 4, 5 years. Some people would be like, oh my God, I might as well give up. Like, this is not transpiring. No, I took all of what I was seeing, the results that I was seeing, and I was like, okay, is that working? No. Is that working? No. Is that working? No. Is that working? No. For 5 years. And yeah, I just continued on, but I did it. And literally, actually, okay, here's the key. For 5 years, I was doing it from a place of like, it's going to take hard work. It's going to take hard work. It was literally when I changed into, I'm going to do it from a place of passion. I'm going to do this from a place of like, because I just purely love it. And I'm going to do the thing that I love, which is my spirituality. It's literally right when I made that shift that everything changed and started taking off. And so for you, start doing it from a place that you love. Start pursuing it from a place that you love. And then it doesn't feel like you're working a day in your life. It just feels in flow. And every challenge that comes your way, you're just going to be like, oh, I'm inspired to get over it. So let's, overcome it. Life becomes pretty beautiful in that space. We also have Queen of Cups being reversed. So ask yourself, what is going to be the most fulfilling for you? Queen of Cups, when she's reversed, she has an unfull cup. Okay, so it's also about balance, living a balanced life. How can you fill your cup? And also to feel worthy, because when Queen of Cups is reversed as well, she sometimes doesn't feel worthy of her dreams. She sometimes doesn't feel worthy of her desires. She's also not following her intuitive guidance. She's questioning her intuition, living probably from a place of fear or from a place of, I don't want to regret that. And it stops her from moving forward. It stops her from building the life that she wants. So ask yourself, who do you need to become in order to achieve your desire? You need to believe in yourself. Otherwise, you're going to stay as Queen of Cups being reversed. We're going to stay in a place where we're having a life of lack of fulfillment. When we don't feel worthy of our desires or we don't believe in ourselves, we don't feel like we're worthy of it, we're not going to pursue it. So we have to start feeling worthy of it. And your message here today has been, you are so worthy of it. You were literally born with this calling. You've developed this calling because it's your soul telling you, hey, I came here to experience this, so let's like pursue it. But we have to get past our human kind of constructs, our different beliefs that we might have picked up on because of past experiences, because of past failures, because of what other people have projected into our consciousness, such as parents saying like, oh, you shouldn't pursue something like that because the chances are slim it'll ever work out. Well, that's just a belief. Maybe, yeah, the chances are slim because most people give up when they don't see results right away. Whereas there's other paths where you will see results right away. We literally know, okay, I could go to school, get this degree, apply for this job, and my likelihood of getting that is much higher than the likelihood of me spending the same 2 years on my business doing this. Well, okay, sure, but what's going to lead you to more happiness if you continue to pursue it? And most people won't continue for a whole 5 years to wait for their dreams to happen. And the people that do pursue it because they're like, I'm not going to settle for anything less than a happy freaking life and a life that I love and am inspired by every day. Those are the people that are successful. Those are the people that, you know, are the people that make the seemingly impossible possible. Okay, we also have the card intention. What is your intention? Set what your intention is and let's follow that intention. Let's fulfill it. Let's make it happen. Be intentional about what it is that you want. Be intentional about the action that you are taking towards it, because that's going to help you build. Then we also have new beginnings. So there is a calling for you to have a new beginning, to take a leap of faith. And then let's get into some more cards here. I'm going to pull out an archetype card, which is going to help show the archetype that, ooh, that one really wants to come out. It's going to show the archetype that you are stepping out of and into, the archetype that's going to give you your power versus the archetype that has been taking away your power. So we have dilettante. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but that's okay. So the light attributes, the positive attributes of this archetype is delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. Okay, I have a lot to say about that, but let's talk about the shadow attribute here for a second. So the shadow attribute is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Okay, so what I'm actually getting here for you, let's talk about this, because I feel like your shadow in your current archetype has been, I shouldn't pursue what I want because I'm not a master at it, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready, or I will never be good enough. There's people that are better than me out there. And maybe that's been your biggest thing, is like this imposter syndrome. And perhaps that's been your biggest thing stopping you, is like, I'm not good enough yet, therefore I can't pursue it. Your biggest learning, your biggest growth, and your biggest acceleration towards your dreams comes from when you can delight in the arts without necessarily having to be a professional, when you can pursue your dream without having to be a master at your dream yet. And that's literally the key to becoming a master at it, by the way. Because, for example, when I started YouTube, did I know how to talk on camera? Did I know how to edit a video? Did I even know how my camera freaking worked? No. But did I make a YouTube video anyway? Was it out of focus when I made my first YouTube video? Yes. Did I edit it to the crappiest extent you could ever imagine? Yes, because I didn't know how to edit. Did I talk really funny on camera because I was really insecure? Yes. But I did it anyway, because I knew that the only way for me to build those skills, for me to become good and natural at it, was to just do it. And, 5 years later, channel actually took off. And then now 10 years. Wow, I've been on YouTube 10 years, going on 11 years. That's wild. So 10, 11 years later, it's like my career, I love my life, things are great. So it's time for you to delight in building the life that you love, regardless of your current skill level, because you learn the most as you go. If I told myself like, oh, I can't start a YouTube channel because I still don't know how to work a camera, I still don't know how to talk on camera, I still don't know how to do this, I still don't know how to do that. If I held myself back because of all of that, would I be where I am today? No. Oh my God, because I would have still been delaying, being like, but I still don't know how to talk on camera. Well, the only way to build that skill is to do the thing. And the only way for me to learn how to edit better, the only way for me to learn the YouTube algorithm, how to do thumbnails, how to do all that, is to just actually start doing it, right? Not just imagining it or like doing a small practice of it in my bedroom, like small practice of like, let's talk on camera, but then let's not edit it and put it out there. Well, then I'm only learning half the skill, right? You really have to just dive all in. Start doing it, even though it might be crappy, even though people might judge you for it. And trust me, oh my God, was that ever a thing that I had to get over too? Like, what are people going to think of me? I'm really crappy at doing this. Like, that was the whole thing. But like, it literally led me to being where I am today, which is like a lot better, a million times better than where I started. So you have something to offer. It's also about realizing you have something to offer regardless of where you currently think you're at. There's always going to be people that are, you know, can learn from you. There's always going to be people that you're one step above, and your journey is going to be inspiring to them. Your journey is going to empower them. Your journey, your wisdom, whatever it is that you're sharing, your art, whatever, it's going to be able to be valuable for someone, right? And as you grow more, as you get better, as you do this more, you're going to be even more valuable to more people. But realize you're already valuable to someone. So just start putting yourself out there. Just start doing your thing. Okay, I'm also going to restart my camera. It's about to cut out, but we have some more cards to get into. Okay, so going into these next cards here, we also have movement. It is time to take action. This is your card from Spirit. It is time to take action. It's time to stop delaying. And then Ask Body is coming up as well. Ask your body what feels good. Listen to your intuition and ask your body, okay, what is that calling that I've had? What is the calling that I've had? And look at the roaring here. Ask your body, do I want to be held back by fear, or do I want to move into my inspiration? Okay? Don't let your body, okay, it's good to ask your body how it feels, yes, but also don't let your body stop you because your body's like, I'm scared. Okay? Look at how this one is roaring, being like, we're moving. We're moving. And then ask your body after you take that action, did that feel good? Because it probably actually will. It probably actually will feel better than you think. And yeah, it'll feel really good. Because I know for me, I was so scared to film my first YouTube video. I was so scared to film my first like 100 YouTube videos. But it started feeling better and better. And even when I filmed my first one, even though I was so nervous, afterwards I actually felt really good. My body was like, oh, I feel really proud of myself. I feel accomplished, even though it was really scary, right? So taking action, doing that action, and yeah, all that. So anyway, let's see what else we get for you, my group twos. Any last messages from Spirit about what it is that you need to hear right now? That, yeah, all the messages that were meant to find you. I feel like that one wants to come out, and then those ones. Okay, so we have, if it's coming up, let it go. So I feel like this is talking about whenever you have a fear coming up, or whenever you have reservations coming up that are trying to hold you back to your old self. If it's coming up, just simply let it go. If it's coming up, let it go. Don't let it stop you anymore, okay? That's a huge thing. Don't let it stop you anymore. Then we also have, they entered your life for a specific reason to support you in a way that only they could. So, I also feel like the people that you are going to connect with as you start pursuing what you want, this is almost like, you know, if you have a career that you're wanting to pursue, realize that you're going to show up into the people's lives that you're meant to, because you have a special talent that can support people in a way that only you could support them in, that only you have the gifts for. So stop thinking that you're not worthy or not ready. You have wisdom to share. And also, there might be certain people coming into your life that you could be really thankful for, that are coming into your life that are going to help you in a special way. ooh, and then I should have been blank. I should have been this already. I should have been that, or I should have been, what do you really want to be though? And realize that you're right where you need to be right now to be building the life that you want. So rather than feeling behind or anything like that, realize that you can choose right now to build a completely new life and reroute and build a life that you love. So rather than should have been, would have been, could have been, it's like, oh, I am now. I just am. And then our last card, take care of your rarity. This is one of my favorite cards, and I feel like it's so special coming up for you right now because it aligns with your message so beautifully. Take care of your rarity. You are rare. You are unlike anyone else on this planet. You have unique things to offer. Therefore, it doesn't matter who else is already pursuing the same dreams. It doesn't matter who else is already on a similar path or whatever. It doesn't matter. Take care of your rarity. You have unique gifts to offer. You have a unique perspective. You have a unique energy, which certain people are going to resonate with, because not everyone resonates with, whoever else is already working in the field that you want to work in. Not everyone wants the same dream. Not everyone wants the same outcome. Take care of your rarity. You're rare. You're unique. It doesn't matter who else is living a similar path. You still deserve to live your path. So, and there's still space for you to do so. There's literally infinite space. Your soul would not come here with that desire if there was not room for you to experience it and have it. There's already room for you to do that. Not everyone wants the same thing. There's already room for you to do that. So, take care of your rarity. That is your whole message, all of what we just talked about, which was a lot. So thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. And I hope this message helped you and resonated with you or inspired you, invigorated you with the magic that you needed right now. And I am sending you all so much love. And until next time, bye. All right, my group number 3s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so beginning with our Astro Dice. Let's see what we have for you. We have Jupiter in Sagittarius in the 11th house. Okay, so Jupiter is the planet of abundance and expansion, and it is the planet of travel, especially being in Sagittarius. Like, this is some travel or expansion type of energy. Being in the 11th house can be the house of friendships, but also the house of like innovation or spreading yourself more globally. Spreading yourself more out there, expanding what's possible for yourself. So I feel like your message, my group 3s, is to dream bigger, to go bigger, to realize that you have the potential to expand yourself. And Spirit is really calling you to expand yourself. If you have a calling to do something big, or if you have a calling to maybe be in the spotlight more, or if you have a calling to pursue something larger, to even network with like certain people, to get yourself out there more. Maybe you have a career or a job or something else that maybe you're dreaming about living with more freedom. Maybe you're dreaming about traveling more. Maybe you're dreaming about moving somewhere across the globe. This is a calling to believe in yourself. This is a calling to pursue those things. This is a calling to really start putting yourself out there and to start innovating, finding innovative ways to expand yourself and calling in more abundance and believing that good fortune is on your side, because Jupiter is literally the planet of good fortune. And I feel like what you need to hear right now is believe in yourself. Both Sagittarius and Jupiter are about belief and what we believe. And our beliefs either allow us to expand or they keep us limited and stuck. And one thing that I'm really feeling for you is it is time to start believing in yourself, because as you do, more is going to become available to you. More is literally going to become available to you. If you want more abundance in your life, if you want more happy friendships, if you want more travel, if you want more recognition, if you want more success. All of these things are tied to, do I believe I'm capable of it? Do I believe I'm worthy of it? And as you start shifting that, you will become more worthy of it. You will become more capable of it. And you will be able to expand yourself. For those of you that are wanting to create some big change in your life, some big expansion, some big like, whoa, there's also a message that you have what it takes. You have what it takes to make that happen. And then we have the strength card coming up for you. Believe in your inner power. Believe and know that you are capable of it. Strength, stability in this hour, endurance, stamina, I am power. Keep going. Stamina is also a huge, important concept of this, is like, let's keep going. How long can you continue to hold that belief in yourself? Because the longer you hold it in yourself, the more likely that you are going to get to your desire. And then dream sweet, sleep deep. There's also a random message here about things that you, okay, two messages. I'm going to start off with if you have worries at night that keep you up at night, like, oh, am I going to be capable of that? Is it worth it? Is that actually going to happen for me? Etc., etc. Other different anxieties, stresses, or worries. Spirit wants you to know that whatever you give energy to is what is going to manifest in your life. But you are also a dreamer. And Spirit is saying that those dreams, the more that you can visualize, the more that you can see yourself living the life that you want, the more that it is going to manifest in your life, the more that you can visualize yourself actually being there, living it, doing it, it will happen. If you can dream it and you can see it, you can hold it in your hand. You can live it in your life. Sleep that's deep and lasts till morn, wondrous dreams for days reborn. I feel like there's a rebirth of your life that you can create, and it's all about what you're willing to strive towards, what you're willing to create in your life. And for those of you that really chose this group, like, I am feeling like you are a big dreamer. The fact that we have Jupiter showing up in Sagittarius in the 11th house, I'm getting big dreamer energy from you. And there could be big things that you want to experience in this lifetime, and Spirit's really saying that you do have what it takes. The inner strength that you can call upon in yourself to be like, okay, I am going to make this happen. I am going to do this. And then you take the action, because Sagittarius is also very much about like, shoot your shot, take the action, pinpoint where you want to go and start going. But you have to be clear about your direction as well. You have to be clear about the direction that you're going in if you want to actually end up there. Because also, all of these right here can talk a lot about travel, and it's making me think about this really cool like metaphor for how you achieve your dreams and how important clarity is. If you're an airplane taking off at an airport, and let's say you're going from like LA to Tokyo, if you're even 1 degree off of your navigation when you leave LA, you are going to end up somewhere completely different. And you're not even going to be near Tokyo by the time you get that distance. So be clear about where you want to go. And the more clarity that you can have about where you want to end up, then you are actually going to end up where you want to go. As you take that action, you're going to get there a lot quicker too, because you won't have to reroute and re-navigate. So be clear about what it is that you want. And it is okay to reroute and re-navigate here and there as you need, but it is also so much easier when we can be clear from the beginning and just get there much faster. So let's see what else we get for you, all about the messages that you need to hear right now, my group 3s. Spirit is really wanting you to know and encourage you that you do have what it takes. I feel like your biggest message is like, believe in yourself. We also have 7 of Pentacles. Maybe some of you have been pursuing something for a little while now, and you're like, when am I going to see results? When am I going to see results? Seven of Pentacles is like when we're waiting around, maybe we've planted the seeds, we've watered them, we've been watering them for days. We're like, when are they going to sprout? When are they going to bear the fruit? Where are the fruits of my labor? And there's one message here from Spirit: keep going. You have the strength. It is happening. But there's a reminder here with the Seven of Pentacles that, for example, when we plant a seed, there's so much happening underneath the ground that we don't see when we're staring at, the ground, being like, when is it going to sprout? There's so much happening underneath that maybe you don't see right now. So maybe when it comes to your dreams and desires that you're currently pursuing, and maybe you're taking a lot of action, maybe you've done a lot and you're like, where are the results? Spirit is reminding you that there's actually so much that is already transpiring and happening, so much growth that's already happened that maybe you can't visually see from your perspective, because you're not underground with the seed, seeing that, it's already sprouted its whole, root. It's rooting down. All the roots are growing. They're all preparing. I feel like Spirit is saying that all the action that you're doing right now is helping the roots of your intention grow. And again, the roots, we don't see it from the outside. We don't see it, but it is happening. There's something happening underneath it all. So continue, don't give up on it. If you give up on it and you stop watering that seed, well, then that seed is going to die. And even though it had this potential to be this beautiful, blooming, flower, if we give up on it, it's not going to bloom. It's not going to turn into the flower that we wanted. So your message is do not give up. Your biggest message is do not give up on your dream. Have the strength and the willpower to go through, continue seeing yourself living it, to continue that inspiration, to continue that energy, that momentum behind what you want. Continue that momentum. We also have the Emperor being reversed. Do not get discouraged along the way. The Emperor is the one who sits on the throne and has his whole kingdom, has created his whole kingdom. But if you give up getting to the top, if you give up on your kingdom that you're creating, you're not going to be able to sit in the throne of having what you want. So there is this message, don't give up on it. If you have felt like, oh, I need to give up on this dream, or this is too big, your biggest thing again, don't give up on your dream, otherwise it's not going to happen. Because Spirit is saying it's literally here saying that you have what it takes. You literally have what it takes. And if you needed that confirmation, maybe that was the confirmation that you needed, is like, I have what it takes. Maybe that's all you needed to hear today. Let's see if we get anything else here from Spirit about what it is that you need to know. We also have the Death card being reversed. If there are things that are not working for you, we can also revise our approach. We can revise our approach, because maybe there's certain things that we haven't tried yet. Maybe there's other action that we can take that we haven't even considered yet. Maybe, and then we also have Lovers reversed. Okay, so there could be action that we have not considered yet. There could be other ways that we haven't pursued yet. There could be things that we can still learn and grow from that are going to help us with that progress. Just like that seed growing, maybe we're like, oh wait, maybe it needs a little bit more sunlight. So maybe if I move this thing that's in the way, causing there to be too much shade here, maybe if I move that, it's going to grow faster. So there's things that perhaps you haven't tried yet for blooming your dream to reality. So we need to expand more, grow more, continue that belief. And then the Lovers being reversed here as well, there could also be certain connections that we can make that will help us as well. Asking for advice from other people who've done it before. And also keeping in mind that it's also important to have a filter when it comes to the advice that you allow in your life. Because there's going to be people with a lot of different opinions. And there could be people throwing their opinions at us being like, oh, you're pursuing that? Oh, well, that's going to be hard, or that's going to be this, or you shouldn't do that because, I knew somebody who completely failed at that. They've tried it before and they totally failed. Well, again, watch who you're taking advice from. If you're taking advice from somebody who's not living the life that you want, then their advice is irrelevant. Their advice is only going to lead you to building the life that they have. Because people can only give advice from the life that they've built for themselves. They can only give advice from their perspective. So therefore, if we hear discouraging things and it's from somebody who's clearly not living the life that we want to build, well, then that's irrelevant. It's not going to help us. Instead, when we can connect with the right people, we can surround ourselves with people who have done what we want to do or are on a similar path, well, that's going to be really helpful. That's going to be really helpful energy. That's going to be really helpful conversations and advice and wisdom that we can extract from those connections. Even just, watching videos or reading about people who have done what you want to do, that's going to provide way more value than hearing somebody's opinion of somebody who's not doing what you want to do. And also being cautious about who you surround yourself with most. Because the people who we surround ourselves with most are the people who actually influence us and our energy and our thoughts and our mindset the most. So instead, when we can network, and by the way, 11th house can be so connected to networking and who we surround ourselves by and who we learn from. So be more conscious of who you're surrounding yourself by, who you're learning from, because this is going to help you greatly to be able to achieve what you actually want to achieve. This is going to be literally like the keys of achieving what you want to achieve, is who you're surrounding yourself by, who you're learning from, right? If we're learning from somebody who has not, again, got where we want to go, we're not going to be absorbing the right information. So let's see. What else do we have for you? Those cards, we will take those ones. I feel like those ones came out for a reason. So we have trust and positive future. So trust in your positive future is one message that you can extract from these two cards, but also you have to believe in yourself and also be cautious of what you are giving your trust to. Are you giving your trust in people who are telling you like, oh, you can't do it? Okay, well, where did they reach that conclusion? Did they reach that conclusion just because they're not living that life? Or what else are we giving our trust to? Look at all the people who have done what you want to do, who have built the life that you want to live, because there are people who've done it, and trust that you're no different. You can do it too. There's people from all walks of life who've created such big transformations, who've gone so far in life that you look back and you're like, wait, you came from what? And you accomplished what? You have the same capabilities. You're no different than them. Positive future. Believe that you can create a positive future. Believe that your future can bring you what it is that you want to experience. All right, and let's see. Let's go ahead and take out an archetype card, and we're going to see the archetype of, where you're at versus who you have the potential to step into. Let's see that archetype for you, my group threes. I feel like that one wants to come out. Liberator. Ooh. Okay, so there's a dark and light attribute of each of the archetypes. The light attribute of the liberator is freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. That is so fitting. Shadow attributes is imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, and then ignoring legitimate constraints. So there's a few things that I'm getting from this. For one, I feel like you might be surrounding yourself, or you might have people in your life that impose their own limiting beliefs on you, and they're claiming to kind of help you, or they're thinking that they're helping you by imposing their own limitations on you. They think that they have which all these people probably have your best interest at heart, but they don't realize that they're imposing these limitations, their own self-imposed limitations, onto you. And they might think that they're helping you, but it's not, okay? And then of course, there are certain constraints that we do need to keep in mind, that we maybe need to work through, but realize that nothing can truly stop you from the bigger picture of what you're wanting to achieve. But it is important to realize, like, okay, am I trying to currently grow this seed in the wrong soil? Am I currently trying to grow this seed in an area where it's not getting the optimal light that it needs? Because if so, then the only way to success is to move where we're planting that seed. So for example, when it comes to your dreams and what you're wanting, are you prepping the right environment for your dream to grow? So, for example, if you really want to become a writer, are you going to writing classes that can help you learn more about how to write? Are you connecting and making connections with people who can help you find a publisher? Are you learning from other people, reading books that are going to help you, da-da-da-da-da? It's the environment that you also put yourself in that will either help you or not. If you currently have a legitimate constraint, such as, okay, well, like, I'm not that great at writing. Okay, well, let's read some books on it. Let's take some classes on it if you want to be a writer. So we do need to focus on how we need to grow. We do need to focus on fostering the right environment for our intention to blossom. Okay, so that's one key. But the light attribute of the liberator, what you can really step into is freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, right? The belief of like, oh, because I come from this background, that means I can't achieve this. Or, oh, I've been told that, in order to be rich, you have to be born rich. Or, I believe that I'm not capable of this because I'm not worthy, because this has been my past and these are my past experiences. Therefore, I'm not worthy. Well, no. That's an outmoded belief that literally has no basis. That, those are all just stories we tell ourselves based on what we've been told in the past, or based on the conclusions that we've made from our past experiences. But those aren't real, right? We can literally tell ourselves a new story, and then releasing negative thought patterns. Once we release negative thought patterns, we liberate ourselves to be able to move forward. We liberate ourselves to be able to take action. And look at her. She's now taking action. She has the flame in her hand and she's like, oh, that's my inspiration. I'm following my vision, and I've liberated myself from my previous constraints, from my previous barriers. Okay? So yes, there are constraints where you might need to handle that. You might need to keep that in mind so that you can navigate your particular path to overcome those constraints, to get to where you want to go. But your whole message here is you have what it takes. You literally have the strength to make it there. And the key to your success is in navigating your own path and realizing that you do have what it takes, but it's going to require maybe some adjustments. It's going to require freeing yourself from old beliefs and moving forward, and focusing on who you learn from and who you surround yourself by and all of that. So let's go ahead and dive into some more cards here. Let's see, my group threes. What else do we have for you, my group threes? Ooh. We also have the creator. So this is about stepping into your creator energy, realizing that you're the creator of your life. And depending on what action you choose to take, what intentions you have, will determine what you end up creating in your life. But you are the creator. So rather than letting life create for you, I feel like there's a message here about, no, grab hold of the inspiration, just like the liberator. Grab hold of that inspiration and you step into the creator's seat from here on out. You be the leader of your dreams. Then we also have patience. Patience. Don't give up just because it doesn't happen overnight, or just because it doesn't happen as quick as you might want it. I went on a whole tangent, I believe, in the last group where I was talking about the idea of patience for your dreams. And perhaps some of you are also drawn to group number 2, because there was some messages in there that I feel like would be so relevant for this particular reading. But patience is so key. Like, if you give up on your dreams, again, before you see them sprout, well, then you're never going to be able to see them sprout. Just like the seed that you're trying to grow. it's like, okay, well, it was growing the roots, but maybe we gave up on it because it's like, oh, it didn't sprout fast enough. It wasn't doing its thing. It's like, but it was. But you couldn't see all the things that were happening underneath. There was so much progress, there was so much growth, but maybe we didn't have the patience to wait around. And that's the only thing that's going to stop you from achieving the thing that you want to achieve. So, getting into our last deck of cards here. This is our last little oracle deck that's going to bring you advice about what you need to hear right now. So we're going to get a few different cards and see. Okay, well, that was a lot, but let's go with it. Maybe there was a lot to leave you off with here. So the first one that we have, how can you walk through your fears to free yourself? How can you walk through your fears to free yourself? That is so powerful. Okay, so it's about facing your fears in order to free yourself, because that's literally the only way to overcome your fears and to free yourself of them is to face them. And then over time, this will hurt less and less. Oh, when it comes to facing those fears, I feel like this is a message of facing those fears. Over time, it will hurt less and less. It will bother you less and less. The fear will get less and less as you continue to face it. Eventually it dissipates and then no longer do you fear it because you're like, oh, I've done this 1,000 times. Like this no longer bothers me. So yeah, building new experience. Then we also have maintain your peace. We also have destruction is the way to transformation. We have to destroy the old beliefs. We have to destroy the old way of being if we want to transform into a new way of being. Then we also have whatever you decide, it will be the right decision. Whatever you decide for yourself, it's going to be the right decision for you. Keep that in mind. You get to make the decisions of your life. Then we also have I allow myself to rest and renew my vitality. That is so important to have that life balance, to allow yourself the rest, to renew your vitality, to come back from a clean slate. So it's okay to take breaks once in a while. It's okay to allow yourself that breathing room. Then we also have, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I am the luckiest person in the world. Affirm that to yourself. Let's claim that. I am the luckiest person in the world. You know when we watch those movies where there's like the main character and they have to go through a lot of growth in order to achieve something great, but by the end of the movie they've achieved something so great that we're like, oh, how lucky are they to be that person? Like they're the luckiest person, and such main character energy is so inspiring. Like, you know, you're on the same path, you're on the same story. You can be main character energy. You can do the same things and be the luckiest person in the world, but the luck is really up to you to be the creator of it. So let's claim it. Let's be the luckiest person in the world. Claim it right now. I am the luckiest person in the world. And as you take on that mindset, just like the things that Neville Goddard says, there's also a trending topic right now called lucky girl syndrome. And it's when you believe that you're actually lucky and you believe that only lucky things happen to you, you actually end up creating it and attracting it. So you create based on your beliefs, and what you believe to be true about yourself and your reality will actually get reflected back to you, because reality is a mirror. If you get into manifestation, if you get into the deep science behind manifestation and psychology, you're going to learn that the things that you believe literally get reflected back to you. So if you believe that you're the luckiest person in the world, that's literally going to be what reality reflects back to you if you truly believe it to your core. So claim what the universe is telling you right now. I am the luckiest person in the world. And as you claim that, now that is what you are creating. That's the energy of which you are creating from. And that's going to be what manifests. That's going to be the reality that gets reflected back to you. So those are your messages for today, my group number 3s. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I am sending you all so much love, and until next time, bye. All right, my group 4s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading and your message. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so beginning with your Astro Dice, let's see what your message is. We have the North Node in Sagittarius, in the 12th house. So the North Node is about your destiny, where you're going in your life, your direction, the purpose that you're meant to fulfill this lifetime. In Sagittarius, this is about getting clear about what it is that you want. Sagittarius is also about freedom, movement, moving forward. It's also your life philosophy. And then in the 12th house, this is about spirituality, your inner world, your creativity, your beliefs, your subconscious, your mentality. There's a message for you to move past the past and to be forward thinking. If you currently feel held back by what has happened in the past, if you currently feel blocked because of past experiences that you've had, and maybe you're like, oh, I don't want to move forward because what if that past experience happens again? Or I don't want to pursue what I'm called to pursue because I've made mistakes in the past, or I've made a fool of myself in the past, or I'm still attached to the past, or I want to revive the past, or I want to relive the past, or something here about being stuck on the past. There's a message here about letting it go and realizing that your future does not need to be the past at all. It doesn't need to be the past. And also, the past is what holds us back. If we're constantly trying to either revive the past, or if we're projecting our past experience into the future, fearing the future because of our past, then we are staying stuck. We cannot move forward. We cannot create something new. We cannot move on. Okay, so whatever this is, if we're still stuck on like, oh, I hope that, like, I don't want to move forward, I don't want to move on because what if I can revive what has been? Well, if it hasn't revived yet, if we're still staying stuck, then the best thing that we can do is just move forward. That's the best, most healthiest thing that we can do in the moment is move forward. And yeah, like that's your biggest message is like literally it's time to move forward. It's time to move forward. And also when it comes to, again, those things that I was talking about earlier, like not wanting to move forward out of fear that your past is going to happen again, then that's also holding you back. There can be newness in your future, but it really comes from also shifting yourself mentally, doing a mental shift. Realizing that you are capable of so much more. Your experience does not have to be limited. And also being able to expand your mind, the 12th house, there's a message from Spirit, expand what's possible for you. Because I think that that's been the thing that's holding you back. Either it's holding you back trying to revive the past because maybe you don't believe that anything better could ever come in your future. But the thing is, Sagittarius, oh my God, expand what's possible. This is time to expand the mind because there is so much that you have not even tapped into yet. There is so much untapped potential in your future that you have not even seen. And the things that are meant for you will always be. And also the things that maybe that didn't work out for us, anything that doesn't work out for you, it's because there's something more in alignment for you. There's something that's more meant for you. So we're actually only holding ourselves back from a beautiful future if we stay stuck on the past. We're holding ourselves back from a beautiful future of expanding into limitlessness, into your unlimited self. If we say, yeah, like your future is so unlimited, literally the North Node being in Sagittarius, your future is unlimited. But the longer that we don't move forward because we fear the future, we fear that maybe the future doesn't hold what we want, we stay limited. You're going to limit yourself to the reality that you currently perceive. Do you want to stay limited to the reality that you currently perceive? Probably not. So it's time to let go and move forward into the future. It's also time to get over the fears of the future. Because you can learn and grow. Sagittarius is very much learning and growing. And you have so much untapped potential. You have so much untapped potential. So if you've made a mistake in the past that you're just like trying to avoid and you're not wanting to move forward because you're like, oh, what if I make that mistake again? What if I get hurt again? What if I get disappointed again? What if I get rejected again? Etc., etc. Well, It's time to learn and grow from that. Because as you learn and grow from that, you don't need to repeat the past. The past doesn't need to repeat itself, okay? So let's learn and grow. Let's face whatever fear that is so that we don't need to be held back by it. And then we have expression. We can also liberate ourselves through expression. And I also feel like this is you really letting out anything that you need to let out. This is liberating yourself from the past, liberating yourself from old mental constructs, limiting beliefs, and letting go of the limitations in your own mind or the mental stuff, the mental chatter that you want to let go of, the mental fears, the things that have been ruminating in your mind that haven't been good for you. It's time to just let them out. Look at how she's just expressing them. And through the expression, she's like liberating herself. Find your voice. Bottled up emotions, let it out. Bottled up emotions, let it out. Let's express it so we don't hold on to it anymore. It's no longer holding us back. And open your voice to communicate. Maybe you're scared of opening your voice. Maybe you're scared of being authentic. Maybe you're scared of being seen. Maybe you're scared of being yourself. There's no point in fearing that. Would you rather stay where you are? Would you rather be moving forward in powerful, big ways? We also have intuition coming up. Intuition versus fear, okay? So some of you may have been living from a place of fear, thinking that it was your intuition speaking to you. You might have certain fears of like, well, what if the future I want doesn't exist? What if my future is full of disappointment? That is not intuition. That is fear. You might be feeling your fears pop up, thinking that they are intuitive, cautioning you to just stay stuck. But the thing is, your intuition will never lead you to a stuck feeling. Your intuition will never lead you to limitation. Your intuition is the unlimited aspect of yourself because your intuition is connected to your soul, which your soul is infinite. Your soul can never be created or destroyed. Your soul is infinite potential embodied, and your intuition comes from your soul. Therefore, your soul could never speak to you in forms of limitation. That is fear. That is simply fear. Your intuition, yes, it can caution you from things in ways of I just know that is not meant for me, or it'll be a nudge like, that doesn't feel like the right path. It'll be a nudge like that, but it doesn't speak to you in fear, okay? So if your intuition's trying to tell you that a certain path is not meant for you, it's going to speak to you in an inner knowing. It'll give you an inner knowing like, I just know that is not meant for me. That thing is not meant for me. It will never speak to you through negative emotion. That's the thing. Negative emotion stems from your human self, not from your intuition. Your human self is your ego that wants to protect you. Therefore, it speaks to you through the negative emotions such as fear and scarcity and lack, etc., etc. That is your human body because that is your survival mechanism. Whereas your intuition is the unlimited aspect of you that knows what is meant for you and also is so unlimited that it doesn't fear anything. Therefore, it's just going to speak to you through inner knowings. Okay? I'm sure we've all felt the difference between like this inner knowing of like, I just know that that's not meant for me, or I know I'm supposed to say no to that, or I just know that that's not the right path for me. It's this inner knowing, but it's not a fear. So hopefully that's making sense, the difference between intuition versus that, because that is such a powerful distinction to know when deciphering, okay, what's my intuition versus what is like a personal projection. Then we also have connect to your soul. That's how you connect to your soul, just what we were talking about. Trust yourself and source. You have to begin trusting yourself and trusting those inner knowings, trusting your actual intuition, knowing the difference between intuition versus fear, because that's so powerful to know. It's so liberating to know. And let's see what else we get here for you. We also have the 3 of Cups coming up. So this is time to also celebrate, to be free, to have fun. Spirit is reminding you to have fun because perhaps your mind has been weighing on you lately, and maybe that's why the 12th house is showing up for you here, because maybe mentally it just feels like you need a break. It also feels like you just need to accept and have a fun moment rather than having a very serious moment, or rather than having a very dark moment or a negative moment. Like, this is really time to express, to liberate yourself. Surround yourself with people who you feel comfortable expressing yourself to. People who are going to help uplift your energy, not people who are going to feed into your fears, not people who are going to feed into and give you that negative mindset, because that's not helping anyone. When you can surround yourself through uplifting people, oh my gosh, this is what you need right now. This is what Spirit is saying is going to help you. This is going to be what liberates you. Is let's create some good experiences. Let's have fun when you express yourself. Like, let's also express ourselves in fun ways. Let's start laughing at, all these different things rather than having this very critical self. Sometimes when I'm in a darker mindset, or if I'm having a lot of fears popping up, or a lot of like other things like that, I just ask myself, how can I just like celebrate and come back to my fun self right now? So how can I see this differently? How can I shift my perspective? So if I'm like, oh, what if this thing happens in my future if I move forward, or what if I have to face this fear or whatever, then I'm just like, wait, can I also just like laugh at the fact that I fear that? Like, that's so silly. Like if I fear public speaking, like you could also just laugh at yourself and be like, oh my God, like who cares? Like, let's just laugh and like, let's express. And everyone usually has that fear. So like, let's imagine people in their underwear. Ha ha ha. Like, we like shifting the perspective. Or if you have a fear of like, oh, what if that was my only chance and I failed at it and blah, blah, blah. It's like, can we laugh at that and realize how silly that is? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, of course that's not your only chance. Because like, there's a million paths on this planet. There's a million different potentials. You have so much untapped potential within you. Okay? So much untapped potential. So sometimes we can like laugh at our fears and like, have that 3 of Cups energy where we're just like, ha ha ha. Like, and it really helps dissipate and release some of that energy. Okay? And again, the people that you surround yourself by, if we're always surrounding ourselves with people who are also complaining all the time, oh, it brings down our energy. But when we can surround ourselves with people, or even just shift the conversation and be like, you know what? Let's have a fun perspective here. You're going to just shift your energy, start to shift your perspective. And, it can take time to build a new mental habit and a new mental pattern of seeing things like really positively. It can take a little bit of time to like build a new mental space, but the more often that you practice it, the more often that you practice like, let me stop taking life so seriously. Like, yes, it is important to also take things seriously, so there's a balance, right? But sometimes we can get imbalanced where we start taking life way too seriously. We let our fears consume us, we let our negativity consume us, and then we're kind of like really imbalanced there. And Spirit is really coming through saying, have fun, let loose, like let it go. Let loose, allow yourself to laugh a little bit, allow yourself to have a smile a little bit, and things are just gonna change. And I really feel like this is a time, the Queen of Pentacles being reversed, this is a time of also learning how to provide yourself what it is that you need, and also realizing that sometimes we just need to uproot ourselves from these old things and replant ourselves somewhere a little bit more nourishing. Plant ourselves more to a nourishing thought. Where are you currently rooted to? What are the habits that you're currently rooted to? Because maybe if we just change that around, we uproot ourselves a little bit, it's gonna like really help out and really get us, moving forward. Also, your current structures, your current box that you keep yourself in, Queen of Pentacles being reversed, I'm also hearing a message that it's time to break down some walls of that box to allow yourself to expand into things that maybe you've never tried before, things that you've never done before, things that you never thought of before, maybe facing some of those fears, and then that's going to allow us to break down some of those constraints and some of those walls that we currently find ourselves in. And yeah, we also have the Hierophant being reversed. So I also see finding new teachers to listen to, because the Hierophant is the teacher. And perhaps there's somebody else that we can look up to and that we can model ourselves based off of. Because I'm almost feeling like perhaps you've fed into certain stories of people who have failed, or the thing that you fear, it's like it happened to them, but are you modeling your life off them, or are you looking into the people like, how did they make their dream happen? How did they change life around for themselves? Let's start modeling after those people. Let's start looking into those stories of the people who maybe were in our similar position, and instead of like letting that become their future, they instead change things around. Let's look at that and be like, okay, well, what did they do? How did they do that? How did they get a different result and all of that? And I also feel like this is telling you to step outside of what is conventional for you. Step outside of your regular habits, step outside of your regular comfort zone, and explore something a little bit new, explore a new idea, explore a new philosophy, because whatever ideas that you feed yourself with, whatever stories that you are feeding into the most, are going to be the ones that you're the most aware of, and that ends up getting created in your reality. So let's look at the other stories. Let's look at the stories where people became so successful. Let's look at the stories where people overcame whatever was blocking them. And let's figure out how they did it. 10 of Pentacles being reversed. I do feel like there's a lot of maybe fears that you've had around your ability to create your success, to create your happiness. And it literally, I really feel like your key is looking at the other stories, following that instead, becoming a little bit more lighthearted, kind of breaking those current fears, starting to listen more to your intuition rather than fear, and knowing the difference between those two is going to just reroute everything for you. By the way, the fact that we even have 10 of Pentacles showing up for you, the fact that it's even here, this is one of the best cards in the deck because it talks about infinite prosperity, infinite happiness, where there's like a happy family that's married, they have kids, they're also surrounded by luxury, they have the home of their dreams, they're just like living life. Like the 10 of Pentacles represents all of that, and it represents a type of success that lasts generations because you end up becoming so successful that it gets passed down generations. This is what is within your potential. This is what's within your grasp. The fact that it even shows up says it's within your grasp. It is reversed in this case, and it showed up reversed because it's saying that this is your potential, but it's about learning how to unlock that potential. And the way in which we unlock it is, who are we following? Who are we modeling ourselves after? How would somebody think? What would you have to believe to be true about yourself and your reality in order to get here, rather than staying stuck? What would you have to start to believe about reality to get into alignment with this? Maybe you'd have to believe like, oh, that's possible for me. Oh, that's natural. Oh, that's easy. When you start telling yourself a new story, literally, it will change what gets reflected back to you in reality. So if you start believing like, oh, of course that's possible for me, and you really say it and believe it with that tone, like, oh, of course that's possible for me. Of course I can have that. Of course I'm worthy for that. Of course that's natural for me to attract that in my life. Of course it is. You start embodying that, like 10 of Pentacles is literally right here for you. It showed up in your reading because that energy is literally within your grasp. Okay? You have the potential to manifest all of that. So let's go ahead and see what else we get for you here. My group number 4 is about what it is that you need to know. If you want to know as well, like if your mindset can even change, because maybe you've been struggling with like, you know, getting your mind in a good place. Oh my gosh, look at the 10 of Pentacles. Look at her. Look at how she feels. Look at the life that she's living. She is in her element. She's feeling good. She's literally in the most luxurious dress. This almost looks like a wedding dress to me. But anyway, or like some sort of celebration dress of like, I am successful. She looks so successful, okay? And she is happy. And she's in like a luxurious place. She clearly is feeling pretty good. So if you are wondering, can I shift things around for myself? Yes. If you're wondering, can I get married? Am I going to find my person? She's literally in a wedding dress over here. So yes, Yes, even the Hierophant talks about weddings, by the way, because it's the church where weddings happen, the ceremonies happen. So I don't know why that's like popping up if some of you are thinking about like, am I ever going to get married and find my person? Or do I stay stuck on the past? Stop staying stuck in the past, okay? Move forward. The North Node is saying move forward. And also start to really believe in your future, because that is one key to making it happen. Start to be more just like lighthearted about this, whatever it is in the past, because sometimes we drag our past with us and we project it and copy and paste it onto the future because of the things that we fear, because of the things that we've experienced. And we take that, all of that energy from our past that might be like a heavy weight. And because we keep carrying it with us, we're like copying and pasting it into every experience that we have moving forward. But the way that we liberate that, like look at how she's liberating it, and then look at the mental shift. As you mentally shift to like, you know what, I'm gonna be lighthearted. I'm no longer gonna let my past be a weight, and rather I'm gonna look at my past and be like, oh my God, what a wild ride that was. But now I'm welcoming a brand new future. Now I'm welcoming 10 of Pentacles energy over here, where I'm gonna be, you know, in my wedding dress, or I'm gonna be celebrating my successful, like, you know, career, celebrating this, celebrating that, like doing the special thing. This is really about you stepping into that. And regardless of whether you're asking or needing advice right now or whatever, regardless of whether this message is about your love life or about your career success or manifesting the house of your dreams, 10 of Pentacles represents all of that. It represents all of that. This is all encompassing for love, career, your home, like your life experience in general, travel even. All of that is literally within your grasp, but it's about looking at the past and being a little bit more like, let me let that go. Like, let me stop holding that as a weight on me, and let me just like express it, laugh about it, change my perspective, because that will literally shift the energy. Okay, we also have Flame of Inspiration. So this is time to get back to your inspiring self. To ignite a new flame, rather than lighting the flame that's like destruction and what if I never have it, and the flame of fear. Let's light the flame of inspiration. Let's light the flame of like, ooh, I cannot wait to experience this. Let me go out there and like start creating it. Let me get out there and start creating it. How can I create from the place of inspiration in my life rather than from the place of fear? And then we have listen to your heart. Your heart will always guide you in the right direction. Let's listen to it. And remember, your heart does not speak through fear either. Fear is, again, the more ego mechanism, the survival mechanism. Your heart is going to speak to you through those inner knowings as well. So, moving on to our next deck, we're going to take a archetype card. And the archetype is going to show you the archetype that you are currently at versus what you can step into, your potential. We have addict. Ooh. So there's a light and shadow attribute of the addict. So helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So what are we maybe addicted to from our past? Are we addicted to like someone from our past that we can't move on from? Are we addicted to even like, oh, you know, sometimes Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, which is like so profound and enlightening. Sometimes we get addicted to our negative emotions. So sometimes like feeling sorry for ourselves, we can get addicted to that. And then we get addicted to talking about that and the drama of that. And then we, you know, can be around our friends and sometimes we get addicted to like, oh, my drama is bigger than yours. Or here's the reason why I couldn't manifest what I wanted. Here's the reason why I'm not living the life that I wanted, because look at all this craziness that's happened in my life. And sometimes we literally get a dopamine rush and it releases chemicals in our brain of like, that we get addicted to. And even though it's negative, even though we don't actually want those things to happen, we actually get addicted to creating a life like that because it gives us this high feeling. So sometimes we can literally get addicted to our sorrow. And that can be so important to let go of, okay? But anyway, getting into the shadow attribute, compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So there could be some sort of addictive pattern in your life that's keeping you stuck either in the past, or it's keeping you stuck from creating what you really want. There's something here that we need to let go of. And when we can step into the light attribute where we can recognize and confront the addictive behavior, and then we can say, nope, I'm not following into that again. I'm not following into that pattern because I want to be somebody else. Who do you really want to be? Do you want to be the person that's like coming through being like, look what I just accomplished, look at this life, and like, let me get inspired with my friends to also uplift them, to show them how they can create their best life and like live in that energy? Or do I want the drama energy of like, guess what just happened? Oh my God, I had the worst week, and like blah, 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 blah. And like, oh, you had a bad week too, but then, oh, but guess what happened to me though? Like, ugh. Like, what life do we want to create here? Because maybe we need to break out of these old habits of what we're focusing on, because the things that we focus on the most, the things that we talk about the most, influence our perspective. They influence what we attract in our life. They influence all of that. And I really feel like as you kind of liberate yourself and move into this more fun, freeing, positive light, which exists within you, I already know it. I already feel it. That positive light exists within you. I know that you have that. I know that you have that, okay? So as you move into that, as you move into the flame of your inspiration of like, okay, what's my best life and what do I want to like create? What do I want to attract? What do I want my future to be? The North Node, what do you want your destiny to be? If you could fast forward yourself 10, 15 years from now, even whatever number you want to pick, if you want to fast forward yourself, what would be your dream life that you would be living? What would that be? Ask yourself, what would that be? Like, even just 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5, whatever number that you want to pick. Fast forward there, what life do you want to live? Is it the life that you're living right now? Or does it look completely different? And who would you need to be? How would you need to change in order to be that? And also, trust and know that you have the ability to be that, because if you have a desire for it and if you can picture it in your mind, you have the ability to create it. You are the creator of your reality, right? What does your heart really want in the future? What kind of things, experiences do you want to be surrounded by? Do you want to have that 10 of Pentacles energy right here? Because that is literally available to you. The fact that it even showed up says it's within your grasp. The dreams that you have are within your grasp. But there's things that we might need to revamp and do a rehaul of in order to make these shifts. Okay, I'm going to restart my camera really quick so it doesn't cut out, but we have more to get in. Okay, so moving on into more cards here. We have the Observer. So what are you choosing to observe in your life is going to have a massive impact. Your perspective. Are you observing all the failures? Are you observing all of the not goodness that has happened? Or are you going to choose to observe, okay, what are all actually the good things that have happened in my life? Because once you shift what you're predominantly observing, you're actually going to see that your life is entirely different. And then you're also going to start writing an entirely different story, because rather than observing, okay, if you train yourself to constantly observe all the failures, all of the wrongdoings, all of the mishaps, and if that's your predominant observation in your life, in your past, then in the future, you've now primed, and trained your mind to focus on those things. Therefore, in your day-to-day life, your brain is now primed to focus on, okay, where's the next failure that I'm going to see? Where's the next, negative thing? You're more primed and primed to focus on that and to find that. Therefore, when, let's say, the perfect, most beautiful opportunity presents itself to you, your brain is like a filter, and you'll actually be filtering out, sorry, this bracelet's like stuck here. Okay, you're actually going to be filtering out positive things because you're not used to thinking about them. You're not used to focusing on them. Therefore, your brain will naturally filter it out. And somebody could come to you with like such good news and be like, oh my God, guess what just happened? And then your brain is primed and primed to be like, oh, but what if that doesn't work out? Or your brain's gonna be like, oh, well, of course it happens to everyone else, but not me, right? Like, your brain is focused to think in certain ways. Therefore, when new opportunities come to you, it's, again, not in your focus. So if you can start right now, Spirit is saying right now, start to look at your past and ask yourself, what are all the things that have actually gone very, very, very right for me? What's all the proof that I can dig up in my past? And this might take a second, right? Because, right, we're changing the way that our brain is primed and primed, which can take a second, okay? But ask yourself, what's all the proof that I can easily manifest what I want? Okay? What's all the proof that I've already had that it's actually going to be easy for me and natural for me to manifest what I want? What's all the proof that things are going very, very, very right for me? Because you can find that. If you ask yourself that question, you really, really, really take the time, you will find answers to match that question. And I'm not talking about negative answers. I'm talking about very, very, very positive answers. Positive answers that are just like, oh, wait, I did have that proof back then when this happened. And then this happened actually, which proves that I could easily have this. And this proves that I can actually easily attract that. You will find it if you are willing to look for it. And the more that you prim and prime your brain for opportunity, for showing you that you are lucky, that your life is beautiful, the more that you prim and prime your brain for that, you're actually going to start creating it more in your future because that's what you're used to observing. Therefore, every single day that now comes around, you are more and more wired to see and perceive opportunity. You're more wired and focused on perceiving all of the things that are going to lead you to your 10 of Pentacles, to your dream. You're more primed and primed for that. So therefore, it's going to be natural for you to observe that, to perceive that, to see that, because they actually say our world has so much potential within it that the opportunity for us to achieve our dream presents itself at least once a day, every day, sometimes like 8 times a day. It's always there, but we tend to miss it because of what we're so used to observing, what we're so used to focusing on, what we're so used to seeing. And we become blind to maybe the thing that we want because we're not used to perceiving it. So we have to rewire ourselves to start perceiving the things that we want, and then we have to create a void. Let's start ignoring evidence that doesn't support what we want. And let's start focusing on the evidence of what we do want. Because the thing is what we focus on does create what manifests. And I can prove it to you by telling you that if you've focused most predominantly on the negative before, what has that created for you? So if we shift what we most predominantly focus on, the negative's going to go away. So also filling the void, filling what you need. How can you give to yourself what it is that you really, really, really need? If you want to feel more successful, start to think, okay, what are ways I can bring that energy to myself? What are ways I can create that energy for myself? If you want to feel less lonely, what are ways I can create that energy for myself and fill that for myself from the inside? From the inside, because as you do, oh my gosh, the flame of inspiration, the fulfillment that you're going to create for yourself, it's like otherworldly. We start to feel our best. We start to also manifest better. This is going to shift everything for you. You have all of that potential within you. This whole reading has been like a lesson in manifestation, I feel like, but hopefully it's been helpful and enlightening in some way and helping you see your inner magic that is already there, all the inner magic that you have. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive into our last deck of cards, which is an oracle deck, and we're going to see any last messages that are meant for you. So, take care of your rarity. You are so rare. You are so beautiful. Take care of that rarity. You are so worthy of the life that you love, and your rare qualities, the things that make you unique, are the things that make you special and so worthy of what you desire. We also have, I embrace each and every moment and acknowledge how precious they are. Each and every moment is precious. Each and every moment. There's preciousness in each and every moment. Even those moments where you're like, oh, I don't like where I am right now. There's actually something precious in that moment. If you are willing to see it, if you're willing to observe something else, because each and every passing moment is beautiful and has beauty in it and has potential within it, and each and every moment is precious. It's a precious piece of your life. So then next we have unconditional love. Would you love them if they didn't love you anymore? Would you love them if they didn't love you anymore? Because that's the definition of unconditional love, and we can unconditionally love certain people, but we can also let them go too and have that freedom to move forward, but we can still unconditionally love, and there's something beautiful about that. There's something beautiful about that. Oh, I love unconditional love. I think it's the most beautiful thing. And also, having unconditional love for yourself, by the way, is the most powerful thing that you can step into. So when you can love yourself, even when you don't love yourself anymore. That's, I know it's a paradox, but like this is actually a thing that you can do. You can have unconditional love for yourself where maybe you're at a place where you're just like unhappy with yourself, but you can still unconditionally love yourself, which is a deeper form of love, which maybe even on the surface, like if you're going through a time where you're just like really not feeling it, you can still have that deeper aspect and cultivate that deeper aspect of I do unconditionally love myself. And if you can look in the mirror, look into your own eyes and be like, you know what, I really, really, really love myself. And I choose to love myself. I choose to see the beauty in me. Oh my God, if you start to see your own beauty, your own reasons to love yourself, that can really cultivate that unconditional love. And yeah, it's beautiful. And you are worthy of that and you deserve that, my love. So my group number 4s, this is very much about overcoming some of those previous things that were holding you back, stepping into your future, realizing that you have this 10 of Pentacles energy. Like this is literally the you that you can step into. And the way in which you step into her or him is this energy of realizing I am worthy of it. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to start observing the potential in my life. I'm going to start observing the reasons why I can have it. I'm going to start observing all the things, all the qualities in me that say I am absolutely worthy, absolutely capable, and I'm going to start looking for all the proof around me that I've always been worthy of that and that I can have that and that opportunity is already here. And I'm just going to start following that. That is how you step into this version of you, and that is how you get on the path of this version of you, is start observing life from her perspective, his perspective, where, you know, and I'm saying her, him, because whoever you are watching this, it's still relevant for you. But yes, if you were already here, how does this person observe reality? What does this person think about their potential? How do they talk, walk, do? What would they do in your shoes? If they inevitably were going to get here, if your dreams were inevitable and you were going to get here, what would they do in your situation right now? How would they start to observe reality? How would their perspective of reality be different if they knew that they would inevitably end up right here with all the things that you already wanted? If that future was inevitable, how would your perspective of your current reality change, and how would your actions change in the present moment? Because that is your key to getting where you want to go. So my beautiful loves, my group number 4s, that is your message for today, all about what it is that you needed to hear right now. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love, and until next time, bye.